So welcome, let's start this build. First of all, we're gonna take out our motherboard over here, put it on the side, but first of all, take out the PCU or power supply unit. Also, before you start, make sure you have washed your hands so you don't have any finger grease on your hands or things like that. So we're gonna take out the power supply and the mains cable. You can leave the rest inside for now and then put it on the side. Let's plug it in. So the reason we're doing this is actually so that we're gonna reduce some static electricity. This is not like the best way of doing it, but it's quite a good way, okay? Turn it on, and then whenever we touch it, we should get earth ourselves, so we're not giving any static electricity on things like that. Now you could get like a wristband as well. They're quite cheap, but I just forgot to buy one, so you can do that as well. The other interesting thing is that this is the first video I'm shooting with 10k subs on the clock, so I'm quite excited about that as well. Thank you for all the new subscribers. So let's start with the motherboard. Take the motherboard out of its box. Then another thing we need is we need the I/O cover. You don't need the SATA cables. Okay, installation guide. Oh, this is an important thing as well. M.2 screw, we're definitely gonna need that. So then I'll put the M.2 screw back for a second because I don't want to lose it, because we're definitely gonna need that in a moment. We're gonna use the motherboard box actually to put the motherboard on it. So always remember, if you have any other questions, the installation guides are your best friends. It's going to tell you everything, how to install things, how to do it, things like that. All information is very important over there. And I'm always using the motherboard manual as well, because all the connections and things you can double check over here. Let's take the motherboard gently out of the box. Okay. Let's keep this underneath as well. I'm trying not to touch any of the like metal connections or things like that. So I'll put it to my way like that. First thing we're going to install is the CPU. So let's take that out over here as well. From the CPU we have, where is it? Okay, comes out on the side this way. Okay, the CPU, that's what we need. And then there is the cooler as well. This is AM4 socket, so we're going with the Ryzen 3600X, which is a 6-core 12-thread processor. On the CPU, there's always like one corner that is lined up with the socket over here. Where does the corner go? Over here, okay? So as you can see, this corner over here is marked by this little white corner. And then as you can see, the CPU over here, if I open this up, you can see also in here, there is little dot over here, okay? So this corner and then that needs to line up. Take out the CPU. There's like nice finger bits on the side where you can pick it up. Don't touch the top of the CPU if you can, because we don't want to leave any grease or things inside there. First of all, we're gonna open the socket, pull this lever a little bit to the side, and then push it up. Boom, it opens up all these holes over there. And then now, remember, line up the corners. How this happens is you're gonna put it in like that. You don't need to, and that's it. You're gonna put it in. You don't need to use any pressure. Just put it on gently. It's just gonna slot in the holes. You don't have to worry about too much. And then closing back the socket and the CPU is installed. That's how easy it is. You can also use any CPUs here that are AM4 sockets, so you can go 3600S or more powerful CPUs. If you're using any of the alternative parts, it's gonna work exactly the same. Just, check the description below. If you don't know what parts I'm using, I'm gonna leave everything in the description, things like that. Next up, what we wanna install is the RAM, and that goes over here. Now with the RAM, because we have 2 DIMM sticks over here, then we need to make sure that we're gonna be installing them in the same or the right actual slots. So there is, let's have a look over here. As you can see, over here, this over here says DIMM A1, A2, B1, B2. So as you can see, these two, which seem to be, so this is DIMM A1, A2, B1, B2. So it's quite nicely labeled over there that it says which ones should be first. As you can see over there, the red ones are the first ones, starts from here, 1, 2. If you're using the same motherboard, It's quite simple. Use the red DIMM slots. So what you do is we're gonna just push them on the side. Both of the red ones open up like that. Now let's take out the RAM. Careful with this, okay? The good thing would be if you do not touch the actual connections of the RAM, you know, because we don't want to put any finger grease on these sides of the actual connections and things like that. You can actually hold it like that because the connections won't go all the way down, but it's not ideal. I would just hold it on the sides like that and you'll be fine. Now there's really only one way that the DIMM stick can go in, so you can actually just try it first, but there is this little hole in the middle over here. Can you see that? And then there's also a stick over there, and it's quite obvious which way is wrong. So I can see this way it's wrong because the kind of upper bit over there is that way. So we're just gonna turn it the other way, and you can see, oh, it perfectly lines up. All you have to do is just press until you hear a click and these go on both sides. So it is quite a lot of force that feels like, whoa, that's too much, but it's all right. It's all right. That's how you install RAM. Let's take the other stick out. And now if you want to use any future RAM, or if you're going to use 4 sticks or more, because this is 16 gigabytes, if you want to use 32 gigabytes, just open the black TIMM slots as well and install the DIMM sticks or the RAM on the black slots, exactly the same. So if you want to add in the future, it's exactly the same. Just put them over there. What we want to do next is the CPU cooler. Okay, get our static electricity down for a little bit. So in my case here, there is a little bit of a problem because the thermal paste has been installed, pre-installed on this. So this is on yours as well. You might have the same problem, but there are a few bits of like little dust and things on it. And I can see like a big grain of sand or something, which is going to be a big problem when we're going to install this. So I'm going to have to somehow get these bits out. So I've got just a little bit of loo roll here and then a screwdriver, and I'm trying to gently just take these bits off. Okay, I got one bit off. Let me just show you like quite close on the camera. As you can see, there are like little bits and bobs on it. So I'm gently trying to take it off. Do you know what I'm gonna do? I'm completely gonna wipe this off and then I'm gonna repaste it. With BC building, there's always problems, you know, not always, but often problems come up. But the thing is, the problem is always more simple than you think. The problem, the solving of the solution is always much easier, much simpler than you actually think. So I can see that this is not like the best version of this cooler coming out from the factory because it's not completely polished over here. So it's not perfect. Obviously, if you go with a third-party cooler, it's probably going to be a better result. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to repaste it. Okay, whew, I had to dig out my thermal paste, which was underneath all of these boxes because I didn't expect to use this. So you apply the thermal paste onto the CPU. Obviously, if your CPU thermal paste looks good, just don't worry about it. But for me, just like a pea-sized thing in the middle of that'll do. If you guys don't make the same mistake, before you're gonna apply the thermal paste or you put the cooler down, what you need to do is take these cooler brackets off over here first. So these two black things, there's 4 screws, but we need to take them off because our cooler screws are gonna go into the same holes. So we're gonna gently take them off, okay? So now try not to move the motherboard up or down because that back bracket is actually loose. So if you move it up, it's just gonna come out from there. So what we wanna do is we're gonna go and install this over here. So I think it's better if we're gonna go that way. So the AMD is gonna be looking, this AMD logo is towards the IO, okay? So we're just gonna gently slot it down to, okay, it's aligned with the screw holes. Now, what we want to do is apply even pressure to all of them. So you don't want to apply uneven pressure, so screwing one screw down and then it's gonna push pressure on the CPU way too much on one corner or the other corner. So what you want to do is apply it like diagonally. So we'll take one screw. Okay, it's going in a little bit. Make sure the other side is going in as well. Okay, that's going in as well. Now going to the other side. Okay, that's going in as well. And then this side. Okay, it's all going in. Now it is, all of the screws have like a springs on them as well. So don't worry if you have to push a little bit down to get the first threads to bite and then screw it in. So now what we're gonna do is like evenly apply diagonally. 1, 2, 3, 4, like this, even pressure. So screw them all the way down, but don't go way too much force over them. When they're end, that's the end, you know, don't go over. Just testing all of them. Okay, that's the end. Yep, that's it. So they're all screwed down. Now what you can do is install the CPU fan over here as well. So CPU fan number 1 goes over here. As you can see, it's pretty well labeled. It's right next to over here under the RAM, so you can't really miss it. Just gonna plug that one in over there. And that's installed. We could like kind of hide the cable a little bit more, but that's it. So now the last thing what we want to do is install the M.2 or SSD drive onto the motherboard over here. As you can see, there's this slot over here. I'm not sure if this is in the right place, this standoff. I don't think it is, so let's find out. So let's open up the SSD over here. Here it is, this little guy. Just gonna check. Yep, we're gonna have to move it 1 step towards this. So the SSD I'm going for is not too long. The middle size, I guess this is the longest over here. Undo this and then put it one towards over here, okay? Now remember we had that M.2 screw inside the motherboard box. We're gonna need that screw now. There it is, remember that one? The only shame thing I have about this build is that this SSD is not red. Is you take up hold of the sides, you slot it in like on an angle kind of down, not too much, it just goes straight in there. It's gonna like keep on a slant a little bit higher up like that, so don't worry about it, that's all right. As you can see over here, get you guys on this side so it's a bit better. And now we're gonna use that small screw that we got with this, push the end down and then just screw that in over there. The SSD is installed as well. Oh, it's just a shame that it's the only blue thing on this motherboard. Now, one thing I want to say about the CPU cooler is that if you go in with the Ryzen 3700X that comes with the different cooler, what's it called? Wraith cooler, I think, with the LEDs on top, then you're gonna actually keep these little things on there. You don't need to unscrew them. You're just gonna clip them down on this. But for me, you know, obviously I had to remove them. So first thing we want to do is take off every little panel over here, okay? I'm going to take this, remember this is tempered glass, which is pretty cool. So we're going to take that off. I'm just going to screw these back in there so I'm not going to forget where these screws are. I recommend taking literally everything off because it's just easier. The bottom cover comes off if you pull it from the bottom. Okay, like that, and then boom, the front cover comes off, and then this side of the panel. Okay, on the bottom over there, there is a few accessory box for the motherboard, sorry, for the case, so we're going to put that on the side. Just going to pull these out so that they're not in the way. Let them go somewhere over there. Okay. So first of all, we're going to have to check if those standoffs are all in the right place. So it goes there like that. It looks like we have the right things installed. Okay, so before we're going to slot the motherboard in, what we want to do is take the IO shield and put that one in first. So that's the little guy that comes with the motherboard. Slot it in like this way, so the microphone holes in all of these come in the back over here. There's really, you can't go any other way, you know. So as long as these go that way, you should be fine. Okay, this just pushes in. I'm not quite happy how tight this cable over here is. The cable for this cooler is very, very tight over here. I don't think I can install the motherboard, so I'm just gonna loosen this up a little bit from this side. That's loosened up, put it out of the way over there. Take the motherboard, try not to touch any of the pins, and then what we're gonna do is Okay, gently. Gonna put it in sideways. Try to line it up with all the back I/O. There we go. That went in. Okay, I think we're getting there. Just be very gentle with the I/O in the back over there, because on the I/O there's like some guidance for the USB slots and things like that. So basically you can bend them sometimes, which I have bent them before, and then it doesn't, it will work, but it's just not looking like perfect. But at this point, I think I got it perfect. They're all standing in the nice places. So everything is all perfectly lined up over here, as you can see. Remember that there's like a nubbin screw over here on this one as well, the middle one. So you can see that kind of slots the motherboard. Now, what we want to do is we're going to look for the case accessory box where the case was. Just going to go to figure out which ones are the motherboard screws. It's not too hard. And we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I found the screws for the motherboard. As you can see over here, they've got like a big, like a mushroom head, quite wide, quite skinny thread, and then the head is quite big and Phillips screws. So let's start screwing. So what I would do is try not to drop them too much into the motherboard, but I'm just gonna tighten them a little bit. Do not screw them down all the way, because the holes might not be lined up perfectly. So what will happen is that you're going to need to untighten them again. So just get like, 3, 4 in, or even all of them in, and then tighten them later all the way, okay? But always double check as well that the case doesn't have any extra standoffs, because any extra standoffs are bad. You don't want any extra standoffs if there is any. In my case, obviously it wasn't, but just make sure that you only have those standoffs installed, that you need no more, because you don't want your back of the motherboard being scratched in any way or things like that. Once all the screws are in, just tighten them all the way. Don't need to go too tight, but as soon as they bite the motherboard, that's it really. And now the motherboard is in. By the way, always good to like read the motherboard instructions as well, because they go step by step how you and what to do and things like that. On the case I/O, there are a few cables already installed. So let's try to get rid of these first, okay? So in the back over here, you got something that's called HD audio on it, okay? So with that one, we want this to come out from this back hole over here, okay? Once that comes out, it goes into the very bottom corner on the right over there, okay? So there we go. Let's slot that in over there. Then there is this big bad boy over there, or the biggest one over here. It says USB 3.0, this blue top over here. So what we want to do is bring that one out from this middle bit over here, okay? So now that one goes into this J USB 3 port over here, on the bottom over here, okay? So this is just for the case I/O, the USB ports on the top. So that's going to connect to the motherboard over here, okay? Interesting to put this in, but just be careful with the pins, line it up perfectly, and then slot it in straight. Okay, perfect. And then just gonna leave it like that. You can make it go onto this side as well, but I think this is pretty good. This is pretty perfect. So now in the back over there, there's a few more cables, okay? There's one over here that comes from this fan over there, okay? So it comes from the fan all the way down, and it's kind of somewhere on the side over here. So we'll just push that one through over here. We'll see where this is gonna go. Yeah, it's probably gonna go system fan over on the 4 over here. So actually, I'm just gonna open this for a second, pull this one out from here, and tighten that back up, and I want to put this through over here. Okay, so this is the top, that fan on the back over here, and we're gonna just slot that one in over here. Okay, there is 3 pin, but it's completely fine. It slots in there perfectly. And then now what we can do is actually undo this. Then I'm just still gonna kind of slot it, tighten it over there like that, so it's still, you know, cable managed. So now there are 2 more small little cables. One says HDD LED on it, and then the other one says power switch on it. You want to put them through this bottom hole over here. Let's see if we can get them through. Okay, just from there, just gonna put them through over here. So one cable, then where's the other one? Okay, push them through. Okay, these are gonna go into the bottom holes over there. There is this JFP1 over here, okay? As you can see on the bottom over there, there is 1, 2, it starts like this. So on the bottom left is number 1, bottom up is 2, then goes next row bottom 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 is empty peg, okay? There's no pin over there. If we have power switch over here, then power switch needs to be slot in 6 and 8, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the power switch goes in the top like that. And then the other one is HDD LED. That goes 1 and 3, okay? So that goes on the bottom over there and slides in like that. We don't have a reset switch or anything on the case, so we don't have to worry about anything else. So I'm just gonna tighten these cables up a little bit so they look a little bit smarter. You know, pull these up on the back over here, and then that is pretty much it. So now all the case things have been connected. Next up, what we want to do is actually take off the power supply over here, touch it one last time, switch it off over here, and then we're going to connect a few things to this over here. And then we're going to have a few cables that we're going to need to use over here. So one is this big, massive bad boy that is, you can see it says MB on one side. That says motherboard, which is the motherboard 24 pin goes over there. We're gonna need that cable. Then we're gonna need another cable over here that is CPU. It says CPU, and then on this side it says G5. That is for that. They're all in the same bunch together. If you're using my power supply, if you're using any other ones, then make sure that the CPU cable is with 8 pins, okay? And then we're gonna need 2 more cables over here. Let me have a look, where are they? So one is this that says VGA, okay? So we're gonna need one of these cables. Okay, that's a bit longer, I think. Yeah, there's for 2 CPUs, so we're gonna leave that one in there because that's an extension one, but because we have only 1 GPU, we're just gonna use this cable over here, okay? So on one side it says VGA G5, and then on the other side it says VGA G5 as well, but there is 6 pins plus 2 pins, so that is for our GPU. Okay, so we're going to use that cable as well, and then we're going to need one last cable over here, and that is, which is called SATA cable over here. Okay, so it is SATA and the SATA power cable. That's all we're going to need. Okay, so what I suggest you do is connect the cables to the PCU first. So the big bad boy that goes to the motherboard, there's 2 slots over here. Don't worry, you can't really go wrong. Pull them push them until you hear like a little clip that the kind of locking mechanism on the back over here clips in, so they're not coming out. Okay, that's in. Next up we have the CPU. So where does the CPU go over here? It says CPU, so it's very easy to, you know, kind of connect the cables. On here it says CPU as well. On the back over here it says CPU. So it goes in. You can't really go wrong, okay? Next up we have the VGA. Okay, VGA, we're gonna put VGA1. It says VGA on it here, over here. Can you see that? See, VGA goes into VGA1 over here. Okay, plugged in. And then the last one is SATA over here. SATA 1 or SATA 2. So we're just gonna plug that in over here. Next up is we want to put that PCU inside the case. So let me turn that around a little bit over here. In my case, the fan over here goes upside down, okay? So the fan goes on the bottom, and then on the top, there is nothing. So it's gonna suck the air from the bottom and then push it through the PCU. I'm just gonna slot it in on the side over there. Take this cable, you know, out of the way. So it is quite a big power supply. Trying to fit with all the cables. It is a little bit tight, but it's gonna go in. It's gonna go in. That's why we want to put all the cables in first. I'm not gonna bother connecting these screws up over there first. I'm just gonna fiddle with these cables first and see that all of this is actually, you know, plugged in first. So this big motherboard cable, we're gonna put through on the side over here. Okay, can you see this hole? On the other side, if I show you the other side, it is literally next to this 24 pin over here. So let's see if we can plug that in straight away as well. It's actually twisted the other way. It should be the other way. Let me put it through the other way. Okay. There we go. I'm gonna put it through over there. So now we're just gonna have to bend these cables a little bit. Okay. Because that's gonna have to go inside that slot over there. Okay. Push them in. Just make sure that, you know, that clip over there, this clip, if you can see that, so that that clip is clipped in. Once it's clipped in, we're fine. We've done our job. That's how it goes. Now just try to cable manage the best we can. So the VGA cable, we want to put through this bottom hole over here, okay? I'm going to show you where it's going to come out from the other side. Can you see next to, so where is it? VGA cable, yeah. So next to our cable over here, just gonna take it out from there and then kind of leave it like that, because that's for our graphics card. And then the last two cables are here that one goes, so this is for the CPU, okay? The CPU cable needs to come through that top hole over here. So I'm just gonna make this go all the way around nicely like that. Push the CPU cable through. See, the CPU cable has to go into that hole over there. Let's do that. See, CPU is plugged in over there. And then the last cable over here goes to this one over here, which is a little bit of funny cable over here, but it comes from the case as well. So we're just gonna connect it up through this over here, push that in. So I'm going to plug it in from the first one, not to the second one, to the third one. The first kind of plug the SATA one that comes from the power supply, plug it into that one, and then leave the last two, which you can plug into the hard drives if you have any. You know, on the bottom over here, if you're going to install any hard drives, they're going to go over here, which is perfect. So now this is done. We can kind of hide these cables over here. What I would do next is screw in this power supply over here. So the power supply, we can use the power supply screws, but we don't want to because they are silver screws. We don't want any silver on our case. So we're gonna use the case screws that came with it. So these screws now that you plug in for the power supply are, let me show you in a moment. They're Phillips head, but they also have like a little, like a hexagon side on them as well. So you can't really go wrong with that one either. Screwing in the power supply over here. So what we want to do is do a bit of cable management on the back over here. Okay, I'm just going to pull this Velcro strap off over here because we want to put all of these cables onto the Velcro strap over here. So can you, the motherboard power supply and perfect. Now we want to do the same thing. So the only thing we want to do is put one cable tie on the top over there. Okay. Get one of these cable ties on the top over here. There is like this little hook. Push that in over there. And then we want to do the same on the bottom over there. See, there's this little hook over there where we can put the CPU cable, or like one of the cable ties, and tie in the CPU cable. So before we're going to cut these, I'm going to move this around one more time. There is one last thing to install, which is the GPU. So now take the GPU out. Try not to touch the sides too much. I'm holding it on the fan side. You see, I'm not touching the back of this. Always just good little tip over here. And then what we want to check is how many of the backs do we have to take off and which ones. So it's the second and the third one, as you can see over here, they line up. So the second and the third one we're going to have to take off. So with the GPU, it's very similar thing. over here, okay? I'm just gonna open this over here, as you can see. Closed, open. We're gonna take the GPU and then slot it in like that, okay? Careful with the back over there. Line it up, it just goes exactly in the holes. Boom, did you see that? It just literally pulled that one in and now it's locked. Okay, GPU is installed, it's in. Basically that's it. Now on the other side, we're just gonna tighten these screws back up again. Now remember we had this GPU power cable over here that came in through the back. Let's plug that one in over here, as you can see, 6+2. On the power supply, there was some Velcro straps. Remember one of these? You might want to take these back out for that tighten the cables, because we're going to use these to just pull these cables all together and tidy them up over here, okay? So I'm just going to put one. This back looks very good. If you are actually installing some of the fans over here, the top fans, which at the moment are coming in the post, I'm not sure if they've arrived. I've ordered a few fans that come from the front as well that would blow the air through. But if you haven't installed them yet, it's probably a good time to install this now. Put the fans over here, it's pretty simple. Screw them in, top and bottom. Let's put the back panel back on. Before we're going to start installing windows or anything, we're just going to see if everything works over here and everything's turned on all right and it just all works, okay? So what we're going to do is get a keyboard and a mouse and a monitor, and then we're going to come back, see if it's going to turn on. I've got a little field monitor over there, so I don't have to bring my big monitor here for now. Just basically plug it in on the HDMI or DVI, whatever. So I'm going to plug it in into the motherboard port over here. GPU ports are over there. And then plugging it in for this monitor HDMI in so I can see. Plug in the power, plug over there, make sure it's switched off first. Put that one in, switch on this one, and then the eco, we're gonna switch that one on as well. Let's see if we have anything on the motherboard yet. No, nothing yet. And then the moment of truth, see if anything's gonna happen. We're gonna press this power button over here. Okay. We have the fan spinning. We have a little LED over here. Let's see if anything's going on. It's probably gonna boot and figure out what's been plugged in and things like that. So that is good. We have the GPU fans working. We have the CPU fans working. We have an LED over there, VGA, okay, and now it goes to boot LED, as you can see over there. So if you don't know how to make this, I'm gonna leave a link in the description how to make this, but it's super simple. You go to Microsoft website, get one of the USB sticks, it's just gonna install the Windows installation over here, and then it's gonna do that. So I'm just gonna plug it into the back USB slot over there. I don't think it should matter which one, so I'm just gonna use a random one over here. And then we're gonna do the same thing. Press power on and see what happens. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I took a little break because I freaked out and something wasn't working, and as always the problem is more simple than you think. Okay, let me see if this guy is rolling okay as well. So basically I plugged it in over here, USB from this from the motherboard, and nothing came up, and I was like, oh, I don't know what the heck's going on. So then what I did was I plugged in a DVI cable for that monitor, thought maybe it's going to come up over here, didn't come on. So this is the USB, Windows install disk, and none of the LEDs were actually on, which means that it's gone through that process and there shouldn't be any problems. If it gets stuck on one of the LEDs, that means that there's like a problem in that area. There's 4 LEDs, CPU, DRAM, VGA, and boot. So if it goes on boot and can't boot anything, then there's something wrong. So nothing was wrong over there. Also, sometimes they might be a bit funny with the DRAM sticks. What I also did was these DRAM sticks, I took them out and then I put them in the opposite way, and then I put the middle one in first, not the side one over here, but the middle one in first, which the motherboard instructions said for some reason, I don't know why, but I put the middle one in first and then the side one. And then now the USB stick is on. And then we have Windows installation over here. Okay, so let's install the windows over here, and then we'll see what's going to happen. So basically, once you're in this screen, it's pretty simple. Just going to click next, 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 but I'm still going to show you what's going to happen over here. So we are in the United Kingdom keyboard, United Kingdom. Let's press next, install now. Okay, so the setup is starting over here, if you can see that as well. There is the activate Windows. Just press, I don't have a product key for now, and then you can go forwards. You can put that in later. I'm going to install Windows 10 Pro. Next, accept license, literally just click next. Custom install Windows only, install Windows and keep file settings. No, we want to go not upgrade, but custom install Windows only. So there is one drive over here. As you can see, unallocated space, 238 gigabytes, which is that Sabrent drive over there. This is like absolutely, that blue is killing my eyes. Okay, we go over here, we click next, and then now it's literally installing Windows. Okay, so next up, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna connect this to a monitor. I'm gonna install OBS so you can see what's gonna happen inside Windows once it's done. So everything is done over there. Okay, so basically, if you have problems like this, that no picture came on, just try again. You can just, you know, boot it again. So in this case, if you are with my case, and what you have over here is this power button over here. If you hold it down, it's just gonna, you know, hard reset it, or just force reset it after 10 seconds or something like that. Just hold it down, keep it pressed down, boom, the power goes on, off, and then, so as you can see over here, Windows is getting ready. MSI over here, all the fans are working. So we have a few more things over here. We have start region, United Kingdom. Obviously, if you're in a different region, just different. We're getting everything ready for you. Okay, let me just connect the monitor up for it so you can see what's happening, and then let's come back to this over here. As you can see, the Windows over here is on, and what I'm gonna do is just turn it off, because what a good timing, the fans have arrived. So I bought a few fans, so the fans have arrived, so we're gonna install them now. Good job, the Amazon Prime delivery. That's what I absolutely love with Amazon. It just comes in fast. That's all we need to know. So we're gonna turn it off from the back over there. The power switch, we switched it off, then turn them off over here. I bought like literally the cheapest fans to keep it like kind of on a budget build. We have 1, 2, and 3 even. The most important thing is that we're gonna install them the right way. So let's screw them in over there. Okay, so basically they're gonna go in this way, like that, okay? And I want them as high as possible over here, so that it would blow the air that way, and then from the bottom over there that way. So these are 120 millimeter fans, but you could also install 140 millimeter. As you can see, there are a little bit wider ones over here to get more airflow in, and to keep the case quieter if you want, because obviously the bigger fans, they work a little bit quieter. So let's do a bit of cable management. So I want to push these through that hole over there, okay? This one over here is gonna go through that hole over there, the top one, okay? So did you see what I did? So the upper fan goes through that top hole over there. The top one over here that I just plugged through, I'm gonna pull that back from this hole from the side over there, and then plug it in over there, system fan 3, okay? The other bits over there, and then the bottom one that came through, the system fan is over there, this one over there. So we're gonna pull this up from that middle hole over here, plug it in over there. There we go. And then that's quite tidy as well now. So side panel goes back on, power plug back on, switch it on. I'm gonna connect this monitor over here now so we can see what's happening on here. Let's pull this one out. Also remember, pull the USB now on off once the Windows is installed, because We don't want to confuse where it's going to boot, whether it's on Windows or on the drive. It shouldn't matter, but you know, just in case. Okay, let's turn this on. Boom. And as you can see over here, we have these fans blowing now as well. Okay, I can feel that the air is coming through the right way. Always good to check, you know, that everything's running the right way. It's blowing this way. It's not blowing this way. It's sucking it in. It's blowing it in through this way. And it's coming out from the back. So before I can show you on OBS, I need to actually download some visual drivers. So 2 seconds. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to need Google Chrome because I can't handle this Windows Explorer. So what you do is just go and download GeForce Experience, NVIDIA GeForce Experience, because we're running NVIDIA graphics card. We're going to download this and get some graphics cards installed because OBS uses that, and then I'm going to show you the rest of the things what we're going to do, hopefully. So when installing, you're going to have to log in over here. So go here, go drivers, and we're going to go, okay, got it. We're going to game ready driver. Let's get it. While it's downloading this, what we can do now is, it's tempting to pull this protective film out from the glass from the beginning, but do it the very last thing, because you don't know if you're going to scratch it accidentally or hit it on the side or something. So it's nice to have this protective film on all the way till the end and then put it back on. It is very simple to install the NVIDIA, so the graphics card drivers, Google or any internet, and then type in GeForce Experience, NVIDIA GeForce Experience download. Download that one. Up there, you're going to go to drivers. On the top right, top left corner, there is home or drivers. Press to drivers, and then you can just install them all. So I'm just going to install all of these over there. While it's installing this, we're going to just peel off this. Okay, the graphics card is installed. So what we're going to do first, we're going to need some drivers. So first of all, we're going to go MSI B450 Gaming Plus Max Motherboard. So MSI, if we find this over here, Gaming Plus Motherboard MSI. Okay, we're going to go to support on that side over here. And then we're going to go to utility. Okay, selected system. We've got Windows 10, 64. Gaming, Dragon Center. We're going to download this MSI Dragon Center. Accept. Is it downloading? Okay, there we go. I'm going to download this as well. So let's extract all. We have it downloads over here. Let's install this guy over here. English install. So is it installed? Let's see. Dragon Center. Okay. Okay, there we go. You will download the application only from the live updates. Okay, we're going to press continue over here on the Dragon Center. Okay. I'm going to use Google Chrome. I'm going to install that one. Finish. Okay. So MSI packages, it's downloading loads of things. Let's have a look. Look what the Dragon Center is doing. We're probably not going to need the Mystic Light. I don't think our motherboard has the Mystic Light. Okay, it's just installing loads of things. It's just the easiest way to do it. You can just find all the drivers and things separately as well, but by getting this utility, it's just all basically just going to install you all the drivers yourself, and it's going to keep them up to date. It's just going to say, oh, there's some updates available for drivers and things. Just the easiest way to do it. So you can log in over here, which I'm going to do with my Google account. You can register the product over here, but I'm just going to exit off because I don't want to do that at the moment. So basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna go over here and then live update. As you can see over here, there's all these updates that we can actually have. So what we're gonna have is, as you can see, last scan is done. We're gonna just click on all of these. Third-party Google Drive. Do we want that? Well, you don't really need these two, so I wouldn't get the third-party ones if you want. But the utilities, we want all of these, okay? So once this is done, we're gonna go install. Okay, we're gonna install this. I'm just gonna go to Task Manager and check what's happening over here. I'm gonna have the memory. The memory speed is running at the moment at 2667 megahertz, which we're gonna have to go to BIOS and do a little click over there to make it go on the 3200, which it's meant to be. It's restarting. I hope the OBS worked and it's saved the OBS. Dragon Center. It's still installing loads of things. While we're doing this, what I'm going to do is choose default web browser. Okay, there we go. Here it is, web browser. We're going to check it to Google Chrome. No, switch anyway. Oh, thank you. Unpin from taskbar. Oh, thank you. We don't want, actually, from Microsoft Store, what we want to do is actually download something called NVIDIA Control Panel. Okay, this one over here. This product is installed. Ah, that's cool. Usually you have to do it separately, but it's installed already. That's fine. So let's go to updates, drivers. As you can see, we have only one driver here. Universal, that driver over here, installed. Okay, it's just gonna ask for the system reboot over here, which we're gonna do in a moment. Storage boost. Let's have a look what we have over here. So the Dragon Center is pretty cool. So use a scenario. You can do also, like, you know, go to custom modes and then have all your different things, set custom things. As we can see, CPU frequency. I don't think we have Mystic Light, so I don't know what this is over here, because as you can see, I can't choose the colors. So I don't think it's actually going to work. So it's if I've got it connected already to the motherboard, but obviously I don't have any strips connected, so that's all right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stop this over here, because otherwise it's going to corrupt the file. I'm sorry, some neighbors are actually drilling outside or something like that. We're going to go to here, install that one. Yes, it's going to boot it again. Once this is installed, it's going to reboot the system. While it's rebooting, we want to hit that delete button so we can get into the BIOS, so I can show you what's going to happen. As you can see over here on live update, all drivers have been installed. And then what we're going to do now is we're going to go restart the system. And then as soon as you see the MSI logo, just hit that delete button on your keyboard. You can already start doing it. Hitting delete. It's going to start in a moment. We're just going to smash that delete button. Okay, there we go. We are in the BIOS settings over here, as you can see. So it might be a little bit confusing, but it's all right. Okay, that mouse is proper weird. So what we want to do is this AXMP. We want to press that one on. We're going to put the AXMP and Game Boost both on. Okay, let's have a look on memory. Perfect. Profile 1 XMP, as you can see, DDR4, 3200, 16, 18, 18, 20, 36. That's exactly what we want to do. Now let's go. Oh, that mouse is weird. It's much easier to do it on a keyboard, but okay. X, save configuration and exit. Yes. Now it's gonna reboot, and then all the RAM sticks are gonna actually start to run on that overclocked module, which is 3200 megahertz. Okay, just a little Game Boost is not recommended any modification on the BIOS, blah 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 blah. It's completely fine. Back in. So let's have a look over here. Right click, Task Manager, performance, memory, 3200 megahertz. Okay, that is very good. Basically now you're ready to start installing your programs. All the drivers have been installed, everything's all right. So basically at this point, you can already start installing your games or editing software, anything you want over here. That's basically it. You're all ready. What I'd always like to do is get this program called Core Temp and download Core Temp over here. And we're just gonna download this and then install this. So basically this program is a very good program for checking your CPU temperatures. And what I want to do this is just making sure that don't want this, install, nope, just get it all installed, untick everything. Launch Core Temp. Okay, as you can see over here, we have 6 cores and we have some kind of temperature, you know, going on over here. But as you can see, just want to see on Task Manager what we're doing. There's 48 degrees over here. It is quite warm in this room, but I just want to check that everything's running great and putting it on the load. So Cinebench R20. Now this is just a test for the CPU, how it handles rendering. Okay, get it from Microsoft Store over here. Get it. Open Microsoft Store. Okay, that's all right. And we're gonna get it. No thanks. Install. Don't want that. Just exit off. You don't actually need to sign in to download the free apps on the Microsoft Store. This is not like the best on the load of the CPU. You can get, I think is it Furbench, something like that. It's much better on actually testing the, you know, having your old PC on the load and things like that. But with this, I can easily check if the CPU, I accept, if the CPU, we're getting like some good scores over here and everything's working fine for here. So I'm gonna just, as we can see, we're on AMD Ryzen 5 3600X 6-core processor, 6 cores, 12 threads over here, and we have 1660 as the graphics card. I'm just gonna press run over here, and then while it's running, I'm gonna check the CPU temperatures over here. Because as you can see, whoa, it's 74. It's all right, 77, 78, 79. And we're also going to check what's it running on 4.22 gigahertz. That is pretty good. Let's see if it's actually going down. Logical processors. So we can see over here, 4.22. That's pretty good. 100% running 87. It is quite high over here, 88. I wish the system fans would kick in a little bit more. Might have to tune that. 90 degrees. Bear in mind I'm actually running OBS in the background as well as this. But 4.22 gigahertz, that is not bad. Getting this rendering done. 92 degrees. We are running pretty toasty, but it's not getting the clock down, which is pretty good. It's not throttling the CPU. It's still keeping it over there. 93 degrees, but it's still there. It's done. Let's have a look at the score. 3660. That is pretty good. That is very, very good. That's exactly where we wanted. Okay guys, this is what I would consider 100% set up PC now. Everything is working. All the RAM is running on correct frequencies. All the fans are tuned. Everything is set up, all ready to go. Now, the only thing that kind of is missing is like your storage system. Depends what you want to go for, hard drives and things like that. You can install them very, very easily. Let me know in the comment section below if you want to see a video how to install a completely new hard drive. I'll let you know in the comment section below. It's all ready. Now it's just ready for you to install your editing softwares or things like that and just go for it. Enjoy your PC. It's ready. It's really, really powerful. It feels very snappy for me over there. So if you have any other questions, leave them in the comment section below. If I forgot to put anything in the description or something is missing, please let me know in the comment section below. There's a lot to remember. I'll link it below. Things like that. As much as I can, I trying to remember linking everything in the description so you can find all the good information over there. Thank you very much guys for watching. You're the best. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.